Welcome. I'd like to call public meeting council to order. Land acknowledgement, Stephenville Basin, Georgia areas, which is diverse and vibrant rural indigenous communities located on the ancestral and unceded territory of the Beothuk. Lands and waters in the around us have traditionally served as a gathering place for the Mi'kmaq. The broader region of Newfoundland and Labrador continues to be home to diverse indigenous people, including First Nations, Inuit, and Métis. We honor and pay respect to the past, present, and the future caretakers of these territories. Approval of the agenda.
Move.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of minutes. Be it resolved that the minutes of the public meeting of council dated November 6, 2025 be approved.
So move. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Be it resolved that the minutes of the privilege meeting of council dated November 17, 2025 be approved.
So move.
Second that.
Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any matters arising from the minutes? There being none. Move on to proclamations and resolutions. Nothing. Okay, and the finance committee report.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, before I begin my report, I really encourage people to try to come in and attend the committee meeting of the whole. That way they would have a better understanding of, we go through the highlights, some of the budget, some of the larger bills which people would be interested. So I really encourage them to come in and they could hear a bit more of the discussion and the process that we go through in our public meeting. I know it seems to be fairly quick, but they've already been approved rather than go back and repeat it over again. And at our meetings of a whole, the staff is here to answer any questions that we have. So I really encourage people to do that.
And the taxpayers can rest assured, everything is gone through by members of council. And their money with this council is not being wasted. Everybody's aware, the council here in place, and everything is diligently looked at.
Just one note, Mr. Ramsey, I just want to find out the legality, I guess. Like I post on my own Facebook and like I got a lot of followers, and I know the town does put it on, the town of Stephenville as well, the meetings of the whole. But I put it on my Facebook saying there is an open meeting of council, meeting of the whole, which takes place on Monday. What is the legality of that?
It's public information. So the public link to our meetings, the Teams meeting link is a publicly available link. So you reposting it or anyone reposting it is perfectly acceptable.
You're just sharing something.
Yeah. So that part, I've heard a lot from people to suggest that the Teams link and the ability to access Teams. We have 14 attendees. If there was an easier to access service, we may have more, because I know even people have contacted me and said I never really get in there. And I tried to look at some meetings prior to even taking on the role of CAO, and I had a hard time getting into the Teams link unless you had an actual Teams subscription, et cetera, et cetera. Now we do take the meetings from Teams and we upload them to the town's YouTube site as well, and links to that can be found on our Facebook group. And so that helps get the information out there. I will note that, and I was mentioning this to Councillor Tiller when we were attending the meetings in Cornerbrook, that when we had the open forum for councillors with the Stephenville Theatre Festival, that link was watched over 5,000 times. So there is a big audience out there. We've got to do better to try to make it more accessible to people. Sharing it is certainly fully acceptable.
Yeah, I met with
We need entertainment.
That's right. We do.
I met with Mary Lee, and she gave me the information of how to share to YouTube, and I've also put that on Facebook to get the general public in the routine of having a look at the meetings.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. It's all clear. Okay. Thank you so much, Mayor, CAO, and Councillor. First of all, accounts payable. Be it resolved to approve accounts payable for November the 20th, 2025, in the amount of $1,713,386.27. I so move.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? There, just for the public's information, that was expensive because we Russell Heights reconstruction, Rose Avenue reconstruction, and Main Street reconstruction in there. That's why that was fun.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor, for that. And I had noted that there, and also our containerized sanitation and cleanup was in there. So that really dropped the amount up. Next is the 7.2 expense check. Be it resolved to approve expense checks for the month of October 2025 in the amount of $402,338.15. I so move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Get my hand up faster.
Yes, Mr. Elmer.
Okay.
Continue.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
Yes. Okay. Okay, the next one is the property tax write-off. Be it resolved to approve property tax write-off in the amount of $93,793.70. I so move.
All in favor?
Second.
Second, contrary minded, sorry. She got me thrown off.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried.
7.4 water and sewer tax. Be it resolved to approve water and sewer tax adjustments in the amount of $16,128.00. I so move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded?
7.5 request for sponsorship. And just as a reminder, on any for sponsorship always goes to the sponsorship committee before it comes here to make sure it meets all the requirements. Be it resolved to approve a sponsorship in the amount of $500 to the Stephenville High School Scholarship and Bursary Committee. And furthermore, sponsor the Mike Tobin Scholarship Award in the amount of $500. I so move.
Second that.
Favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded?
For the next one, Mr. Mayor, I need to step back. Okay, that is the one that involves the Royal Canadian Legion.
Okay.
Thank you. 7.6, request for scholarship. Be resolved to purchase 1/4 page advertisement of Royal Canadian Legion Newfoundland and Labrador Command Veteran Service Recognition Book in amount of $285, HST included. So moved.
Second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
The 7.7 award the RFP 2025-11 and RFP 2025-12. The Department of Tourism, Culture, Arts and Recreation approved $9,000 through the Arts Infrastructure and Programming Fund to support the Stephenville in Color project, with the town of Stephenville also contributing $1,000. The voting process to select the winning artist was compromised due to the apparent use of automated voting program. Therefore, the council hereby awards the RFP to the artist below. Be it resolved to award the RFP 2025-11 Stephenville in Color Land and Sea Murals to artist Kyle Bennett. The murals will be placed in the YMC building. I so move.
Second.
Okay. Okay, that's,
You-
furthermore.
One per RFP.
Yes, I think it's one. It's a separate RFP. Okay. Furthermore, be it resolved to award RFP 2025-12 Stephenville in Color Recreation and Wellness Quilt Mural to artist Kelly Blake. The mural will be placed at a local business on Main Street. I so move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. That's the conclusion of items under finance.
Just one note I'd like to place on the award of the RFP for the tourism and culture and recreation. Stephenville is known to have a number of different artists, and one that's passed away. And person that has provided a lot of information, a lot of artwork in Stephenville is Lloyd Fritty. And I'd like for the persons who, when we acknowledge that when we put out an RFP for paintings, and maybe we could contact the family and have someone like Lloyd Fritty have a large painting of something Lloyd did in his honor here in Stephenville. And I don't know if that can be used with the tourism department or not, but I'd like for someone to kind of look into that.
Okay. We will,
Historically, the pictures you see around the chamber were council purchases of various pictures from various local artists.
that's a good idea, Paul. We can get that done.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor. Just to add to that, in the Stephenville Museum, downstairs in the Legion, there is a Lloyd Pretty display of a number of his paintings and 2 or 3 of his unfinished ones, which I wish I could have an unfinished painting as good as that. They're really quite amazing.
Okay. Number 9, bylaws, regulations, policies.
Number 1 on that list is disclosure statement. The disclosure statement basically had everyone on council, councillors and mayor declare their businesses and sources of income. Be it resolved that the disclosure statements were reviewed at the privileged meeting of council dated November 6, 2025. I so move.
On favor?
Aye.
Reminded?
Second one is rules of procedure by bylaw amendment. Be it resolved that section 11 of the rule and procedure bylaws include all items for inclusion on the committee agenda must be submitted to the town clerk no later than 4:30 p.m. on the Wednesday prior to the scheduled meeting. Items submitted after that deadline may be deferred to the next meeting at the discretion of the CEO and the delegate. I so move.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Reminded? Carried.
The purpose of that right there was to make sure that, you know, we get clear and concise submissions of items for council meetings. And that's why we had that rule of procedure.
Unfinished business? Anything to add?
There's one thing I'd like to add here on unfinished business, or I don't know if it goes under new business. We have the new medical health clinic, which has opened in the past week or so. And although we don't have signage here yet, I'm sure it's going to come up very soon. And from what I'm hearing, it's a beautiful building. And the one thing we can't lose sight of, and I think from this council's point of view and from a town's point of view, we have to make sure that the 3 buildings that are now, people are not there, that number 1, that they don't get dilapidated, get the windows beat out. So we should be on top of that with regards to vandalism. And I don't know if that should come from a town's point of view, but something we should keep in our mind.
And they are provincial buildings.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, and also sometimes they have utilized rented premises in the past as well. So that's important.
Yeah, good idea. But we have a connection probably we can make tomorrow. Just
That's right. Thank you.
okay.
One other thing I'd like to mention.
Add to that.
Yeah.
Good idea. I mentioned to them that might be wise to invite council to have a look at the new building.
Yes, that'd be good.
On a second note, the council had the privilege of being, I guess, asked to go up and see the College of the North Atlantic with Mr. Wayne Hallett. And I would encourage everyone in Stephenville and all the school people, of course, the professors at the school, to encourage their students to have a look at that small business program. The paramedic course is second to none with the mannequins they got there. It's quite impressive. And I'd like to say a thank you to Mr. Wayne Hallett.
Thank you.
Meeting with representatives on the pool, regional aquatic center. We had a meeting last night. Year to date, their revenues are increased, but those follow pools to keep it turned upon the flow. It'll never be a breaking proposition. The building is getting older. So there's more money being spent on maintenance, but they're doing a good job down there, and we do a lot of internally. The staff down there does a lot of work themselves. They'll cover the costs. So there's nothing for doing okay down there.
So is that something like we need to, in a budget, put some money into that or aside for that?
Well, capital works to be, so there will be a submission from the aquatic center for capital, but right now, small stuff can be handled internally.
Okay, great. Anything else under?
I been at M&L the last 2 days with our CIOs. Yeah. Ended up on the news last night, unexpected. Yesterday, of course, yesterday morning, I was kind of on a whim. But we've been doing a lot of networking with other municipalities ourselves with Urban Caucus yesterday, with a lot of good discussions, had a presentation from the RCMP, from Marine Atlantic, had a couple of presentations from MNL about funding sources and just issues, and the issues the residents feel are felt right across the province. And it was quite interesting to see that we are all facing the same challenges, and looking forward to working with my colleagues on the Urban Caucus, and I thank council for appointing me there.
Great.
Can I ask, CEO, there's an opportunity for you to ask questions and that up there?
Yes.
From a, I guess, my previous background as an audit point of view, be a good, to me, it'd be a good idea to run around on a questionnaire to all municipalities on issues facing the towns, not only externally, but internally, and some assistance like training programs or whatever. And especially regarding to accounting and all that is an issue across the province. So it'd be nice to see if they would take that initiative and provide training programs for staff on basic stuff, so you can break it down.
They have been, that has come up, and I'll get some of the reports from this particular event to show you. There was a session this morning about with legal counsel, and there was one last night with the legal counsel talking about everything from codes of conduct to the accounting process and difficulties when there's issues that arise, you know, that are theft or fraud, for example, in whatever way. There's a cybersecurity presentation by them about how chemicals have lost monies due to cyber security issues. And they have an initiative that they've been undertaking for a lot of the smaller towns, and even some of the larger ones have had difficulty getting themselves ready for audit for a variety of reasons. Some might have been because of issues, related to continuity of personnel, inexperience, lack of training. All of those have led them to implement a process where they helped 10 municipalities in the province that were behind on their audits. And when you're behind on your audit, you don't get your municipal operating grant from the province. So there were actually more than that. There's 30 plus in the province that had fallen behind and had not had their audits complete and up to date. The program, they received funding from the provincial government. They initiated a program to try to help 10 communities get back on track. They actually targeted 10 and they managed to achieve 20. So that was a positive that they've gotten towns back on track. But it was recognized also that exactly what you just said about training initiatives and support were parts of what Councillor Tiller and I put forward as initiatives that we were supportive of. So they did go around the whole room of all of the urban municipalities and had us explain what are the key issues, and that's being now done into a presentation back to us, because it's almost every town had basically very similar concerns, issues, and training is a big part of it. Right? Training, and I said again this morning, training on the software, very good.
Well, I look forward to an update from you guys. Thank you.
Mr. Ramsey, just one question I wanted to bring up. When we do get those murals completed, is it possible that we could get that done on dye-bond, the same material that the road signs and that are completed on, because that would stop the signs from being dilapidated, the paint being worn and stuff like that? I'm wondering if that's
In response, is it dye-bond that we use?
It's okay, good.
Okay.
So you know, I wasn't totally doing nothing. Mike and I had a meeting with representative from Tech NL yesterday, and very interesting the work that they're doing with AI out of St. John's and the businesses in there. And from that meeting, they do bring students from across the island into technical and training workshops in St. John's. So we've made a connection with them now, and they're going to talk to the local schools here in the area and see if they can do some recruiting and talk to these students, bring them into St. John's, show them about AI and all the advances being done. And for their sake, hopefully they can recruit some of our people to eventually go on and learn about this and maybe even get these people hired. Internship. Yeah. So, great.
So in support of what you're saying there, Mayor, is we have an MOU with the College of North Atlantic. We just came from a session with the college about their foundation. But the MOU that we have in college has resulted in some of the activities that they're doing for us with their technology center. Matt, you've had involvement. They come out and did a drone fly through of some of our buildings, that sort of thing, and the report should be received yet, but
They still got some work to do.
yes,
That's the one that's been like great, but there's still some flying that they have to do.
yeah,
Yeah, it's with their top team.
TAC team, yeah, Technology Access Center.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's great. I think it was Ian McDonald. They're working with them in Colgate College. So, yeah, so we'll get that moving forward now in the future. Okay, that being nothing else, notice the motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
adjournment.